How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. Family, this video is kind of interesting because in this one, you're going to see basically some military police pretty much getting involved in a violation of a black man's civil rights. And the odd part about it was they wasn't even in the United States of America. They was in another country. But family, I'm gonna go ahead and run this video so we can check it out because I'm sure there is something that we can learn from this one.
A former black Marine captain body slammed by military police. Former black United States Marine Corps captain body slammed by military police in Japan. There are more details unfolding here. We'll fill you in. He's not active duty. Let's just show you some footage of the arrest.
What the Yo, what are you doing?
Told you not to touch me. You have no right to touch me right now. Get the video, bro.
Yo,
What is your name? What is your name?
You have no right to detain me. I'm not under your policy.
You are in our jurisdiction, so we still have the right to.
So could you detain a Japanese guy over there?
Yes, you can.
You can detain a random
You
Japanese
can
citizen
detain a Japanese
for not
citizen.
showing you their ID.
Yes, and then we can pass them over to the Japanese police.
You see why the color of one's skin follows them everywhere? Follows you everywhere. Can't escape it. It's not like other marginalized groups. There's similarities, but it's not the same. Kareem L., black former United States Marine Corps captain, body slammed by American military police in Japan because he refused to provide his ID upon demand. He is not active duty. So that is his legal right. He's right. They're not. The incident captured on video posted to his brother's Instagram page, where it is going viral now. It shows the 32-year-old black man getting slammed to the ground violently in what appears to be an entertainment district in Okinawa. Video appeared to be recorded by his friend, an American man who repeatedly questioned why they were arresting L, who had done nothing illegal. It does not show what led up to the body slam. He was never turned over to Japanese authorities. Oh, I get it. You're the American military, so you get to rule the world, occupy whatever you want, and make up the rules as you go along. Is that what's going on here? Happened before. But they never did hand him over to the Japanese cops, which his brother says is an indicator he had committed no crime. Second video ends with the cops removing the handcuffs from him, apparently allowing him to leave. It's rare to see a black man in Okinawa who isn't active military, but what they didn't know is he's a retired captain with a wall full of honors. Big mistake. Of course, he was immediately released. Just got the news. L's brother clarified in another Instagram post that his brother is separated rather than retired. Latter term is used to describe service members who spent more than 20 years in the military. His brother explained the military police officers were harassing the mostly black active duty service members when they approached him, believing he was also active duty. These soldiers were already harassing other American service members when they noticed my brother and decided to violate his rights as a human being, he said. His brother continued, in that part of Japan, the black male population is 99% active duty military under a strict curfew. My brother represented the 1%, an actual tourist, a businessman, and a free man. What is the law, you might be asking? As a former Marine who was not on a military base, L was under no legal requirement to provide ID to American military police because he is a civilian. Status of Forces agreement between Japan and the U.S. allows MPs to patrol certain Okinawa districts, police American military personnel, but that authority does not extend to U.S. or Japanese civilians. Stars and Stripes report. American MPs had been conducting solo patrols without Japanese police of certain Okinawa districts. Since the start of November, they've been doing that. It's a practice. Stars and Stripes reports has been halted as the U.S. began an investigation into what happened to L. A proud Black man, former captain in the Marines. Could have ended the sentence with just Black man, though, Jackson, because we'll ask questions later, we'll act now. He refuses ID, and that violent slam, it could have killed him. It could have killed him. That's not an exaggeration. I want to be able to be free. Mr. L was visiting another country and deserved to be treated like any other citizen, not targeted, harassed, and violently taken down.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just another example from what I could see of someone in authority not wanting to reverse course. Not wanting to say, my bad, you were right. Sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Which honestly would just boost people's respect for law enforcement to be able to say, you know what, you're right. This is a difficult job. Sometimes I get things wrong. More likely than not, that would be perfectly fine. But you can't do that because you don't want to look like you possibly made a mistake, which honestly takes away from your authority. Being able to admit to doing something that maybe you shouldn't have done. But because they couldn't just reverse course, this dude ended up getting body slammed and embarrassed and harassed unnecessarily. But that's just it seems to be part of the human condition. When we have authority over other people, violent authority over other people, it's just hard for us to back out from it.
Yeah, it is. And if we could put I think it was the last picture where it showed a couple of MPs who were around there and being asked questions, right? I think perhaps it was the video, but they were asking questions. My point is this: you're so right about not being able to reverse course, but it's worse than that. If you and I were sworn MPs and we were out there patrolling, I know for a fact that you, Jackson White, if I were acting crazy like this, you'd have my back, but not like that. You'd say, "Come on, come on, come on, come on." You know, "Come on, Sharon, let's go." You know,
Yeah.
you wouldn't stand there silently, allow it. You wouldn't join in, nor would I. I say, "Hey, Jackson, let's let's go back to the pad. Just blunt something, but we're not doing this." And that's not whatever happens. This group think in the middle of violating a man violently. It's a curious human condition. It really is.
Hmm. Yeah, and just hierarchy and things like that, chain of command. But also, I mean, depending on what organization it is, you tend to attract certain kinds of people. Maybe not in
Wow.
full, not to say that every single last person who, maybe works for a nursing home is going to be abusive, but nursing homes often attract abusers. Foster situations often attract abusers, and law enforcement, unfortunately, does the same.
Yeah.
So this is why regulations are so important with any kind of organization.
Yeah. And enforceable things that aren't just written on paper. If you're going to
Hmm.
take that oath and mean it, right? A former
Oh, thank family. It's crazy, right? This man in Okinawa, Japan, this brother, retired Marine captain, a civilian now, over in Okinawa, Japan, just trying to relax, catch a vibe, perhaps clap some Okinawan cheeks. I'm just listen, man. I'm just trying to relax, and this man, as a black man, get his rights violated violently in another country. So we know this. We know this type of behavior from some law enforcement occurs all the time in the United States. It occurs on all levels, the local level and the federal level. But what's concerning is these are military police. They operate up under the auspice of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And this is a federal law that was enacted by Congress, which applies to all active duty members, as well as activated National Guard and Reserve members and military academy students. So that in and of itself tells you nothing in that, what I just relayed to you, says anything that applies to civilians. Now, under certain situations, civilians can fall up under the auspice of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. As an example, let's say a civilian is living on a military installation and they violate some type of they commit some type of violation of this uniform code. So they can be subject to military sanctions. But outside of that, out in the community downtown in Okinawa, no, none of that applies to this brother. So now, the next thing I want to ask is this: all law enforcement, be it military police, be it the local police officer, the local deputy sheriff, the local federal agent, doesn't matter, FBI, ATF, DEA, Inspector General, it does not matter. All must operate in boundaries. And before you could just go ahead and put hands on people, you got to have first reasonable suspicion. What was this brother doing to make you to make you feel like you need to go single him out and ask him for identification? This civilian who just downrange, who just really and truly, he just over there visiting. He just over there catching a vibe. He a passport bro. What gives you the right, my good sir, young man, to feel like you want to go single him out? So from what it sounds to me is all y'all got y'all little pack of wolves going on, right? Y'all just a bunch of little hooligans. Y'all gonna do what y'all want to do because y'all unchecked. Y'all unchecked. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to see a lot of that when I was in the service. MPs, man, they can get a little beside themselves. You get and let me tell you something. It goes and it speaks to the human condition. You give certain type of people a little bit of authority, they will become out of control. If you give an inch to a ruler, he'll think he's a king. So you must understand that certain types of people who enter in certain types of career fields, that's just who they are at the core of them. So it just tells me that it doesn't matter if these young men were not wearing, let's hypothetically say they were not wearing military US Army BDU fatigues. They were not wearing that. They was in your local police department, wherever you live at, wherever I live at. And I guarantee you they'll be doing the same shit that they did that they doing now. So that just goes to speaking. This is a perfect example that it ain't about the job, it's about the people that we employ in these positions. So now, what reasonable suspicion did you have to go to harass this man? And like I said earlier, it sounds to me like y'all just going down range, y'all seeing black dudes, because I know, you know what I'm saying? You know, you see the little brothers down there, and you know, they had the little Okinawan chicks and maybe, you know what I'm saying, maybe some of the, you know, hypothetically, respectfully, some of the little white MPs, they may not like that so much because they don't have that type motion with the Okinawan chick. You know, it just speaks to why must you, you know, just be so heavy-handed because you got a tiny whiny little bit of authority. But what's going on is they supervisors ain't going to go check on them. Well, where's a sergeant at? Where's the staff sergeant at? Where's the platoon sergeant? Where's the squad leader? Because these boys are out of control. If they do this to a civilian, what won't they do? If he'll violently slam a civilian to the ground with not knowing if this man is a civilian or a soldier and didn't even try to find out, what won't he do? And the sad part is the other ones just stood idly by and watched and did nothing. They were all complicit in that illegal behavior. You know, the sad part about it, family, is this. Had this happened in the United States, this young brother could levy a lawsuit and win. But because this took place and it happened by these military police, who they pretty much work for Uncle Sam, United States of America, man, who he gonna sue? The government? Listen, all they did was when they found out that they was wrong, they picked that man up, dusted him off, unhandcuffed him, all sir. Did they even tell him they was wrong and he was sorry? Did they even say, hey man, I made a mistake? He made a mistake. We gonna get a supervisor to perhaps get him a verbal counseling or monthly counseling. But we gonna address this. Especially when you find out that this man is a highly decorated, uh, separated Marine captain. How you gonna do this another veteran? How you gonna do a veteran like that? And for you to sit up and say on camera when when the brother asked, L had asked, say, hey, can you just grab up a Okinawan dude like this? Yep. You heard what the MP, you heard what the young MP said, the young brother. Yes, sir. We got an agreement with the Okinawan police that we can if we can come in contact with one of their local Okinawan citizens and we can go hands on and hold them and release them back to the Okinawan law enforcement. Okay, that might be the case because a lot of agencies have agreements with other agencies saying, hey, if a crime is committed in our jurisdiction and it just so happens to spill over into yours, meaning the perpetrator committed a crime in our area, in our jurisdiction, and he flees into yours, we have an agreement where we can pursue and you all will assist. So that's normal. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is this, young man, do you still not have to have reasonable suspicion to make contact with somebody? And then to detain them, well, now, man, they committed false imprisonment on this brother and a battery, aggravated battery at that. He didn't want to be touched. You touched that man against his will, and you did so in a aggressive, violent manner. And like the sister said, that you could have killed him or seriously injured him. But like I said, family, who is he gonna sue? All he gonna get is a letter of apology, some pre-printed document on somebody's computer that all they gotta do is type his name up in there, hit print, and it's gonna come out pre-signed, and they just gonna mail it to him apologizing for these young soldiers' behavior, and they'll be handled appropriately. Ain't that gonna happen? And that's wrong. Because this man getting his rights violated in a whole nother country by Americans who are supposed to protect American people. Listen, if it gets to the point that the soldiers are corrupt. And I'm not going to say all, because I know that there are a lot of good soldiers out there that follow the uniform code of military justice. They don't do anything wrong. The same way that they will be law-abiding citizens out in regular civilian society, they doing the same thing in the military. So that's not the problem. So, family, it's a lot of things wrong with this situation. And I'm still trying to figure out what did he do that you can articulate. Obviously, you couldn't, because y'all let him go. Y'all unhandcuffed him after y'all done turned his pockets inside and out. So y'all searched him. So first, you made contact with him illegally. You detained him illegally. Then you held him, which amounts to false imprisonment illegally. Then you searched him illegally. You committed 4 or 5 illegal acts. That if this had happened, if he was back in America, in the States, and he was in he was in Georgia somewhere, and some good old boy pulled him over and just did him like that, oh man, he could light their ass up with a lawsuit and win easily. But not this time. All he gonna have to settle for is a letter, a pre-printed letter. Man, it's sad, family. This is sad, family. This is man, this is diabolical, and it's very disappointing, because there were I counted at least 3 or 4 other military police that was there that said nothing. They didn't do anything. They just stood idly by. I'm wondering today, did the light bulb even come on in one of them's mind and say, man, this just don't feel right. But instead of somebody doing the right thing, they all watch while this black man, this veteran, a highly decorated veteran, got his rights trampled on. The same man who raised his right hand and swore oath to this country to fight for every American citizen that was within America's walls and boundaries. He swore an oath. And for him to go through this by another American is despicable. And it ain't no different from when them brothers went to Nam, and a lot of them died, gave their lives, and they came back to a country of racists that didn't give a damn about the contribution that they had made. Family, that is wrong, is despicable, and I'm ashamed to say that military police officers are behaving in this manner. And I'll say this, somebody need to get this video, or get a video, or get whatever video to their chain of command, because it's nowhere in the world that somebody ain't saying this is not right. Them soldiers need to be held accountable for their behavior and their misuse of the law. And particularly when it don't apply to a civilian who is not on a federal installation, a base, and they downrange visiting a country on vacation. Come on, man. Family, if we don't get it together, we gonna keep on taking L after L after L, and it ain't getting no better. It is not. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.